Good morning. I'm Clyde Sherman. I arrived in Waco just after the new year in 1945, and I preached my first sermon here on January 14th of that same year. You might say I arrived at a very special time of the life of the church, and it was a great celebration right between the 75th anniversary and the end of a long, long struggle with debt. Just 1 year before, on Sunday, January 9th, 1944, Ida Moore Hayes, the granddaughter of Phoebe Moore and the oldest living member of Christian church at that time, struck a match to burn a mortgage. You see, when the fire burned the original building on Washington Street downtown, the church had $150,000, and that happened in 1924. So $150,000. So a good sum of money. They had pledges and money totaling that amount. However, no one could foresee the upcoming hardships of the Depression. $135,000 debt hung heavy around our necks, and we struggled just to pay the interest on the mortgage. In 1932, it seemed almost impossible to pay the debt, and would have been impossible. We struggled. We were paying the interest, as I said. By 1932, the chance of paying the mortgage were slim to none, and the very life of the congregation and the existence of the church was in peril. By 1944, it's nothing but miraculous, short of a miracle, that the debt was paid in full with money left over to redecorate the church. The mortgage burning ended a long 20-year struggle with debt, at which time it had seemed hopeless and would have been hopeless except for the love, loyalty, commitment, and sacrifice of the congregation. When I came to Waco, I found Central to be a church of welcoming people. The Lockwood family hosted a lovely reception in order to honor us. I determined at that time I was going to be an extension of that welcoming manner. So I began a tradition. Every day at noon, I would walk from the church on Washington Street 11 blocks to City Hall. Along the way, I would stop in, meet business owners, their workers, and their patrons. I wanted to get to know Wacoans and let them know everyone was welcome at Central Christian Church. Now, we had services on Sunday morning, Sunday evening, and a Wednesday night prayer service. One of the beauties of our building was we had a flat roof. Now, on warm days, we would hold evening worship on the roof of the fourth floor. Now, we had beautiful stained glass windows in the sanctuary, but nothing could compare to the magnificent evening worship on the roof overlooking the city with stars as our canopy. I'm a graduate of Phillips University, a Disciples College in Enid, Oklahoma. While here in Waco, we work very closely with a college that some of you may know, TCU. We worked with them on many initiatives to help grow that great college. I was honored later to receive an honorary doctor's degree from TCU. I do hold one distinction among all the ministers that have served Central, in that I served 11 years, the longest tenure to date of pastors at Central. Now, some have come close. Steve Manson have served this congregation for 8 years. Richard Rowland served this congregation 9 years in combined service, and Tommy Potter served this congregation for 10 years. Now, I'm pretty proud of my tenure, but the greatest gift that I gave Central Christian Church is that of my daughter, Helen Goddard. Now, there's a young man from West Texas who served this congregation for 9 years, and he seems to think he's going to overcome my record. And between you and I hope he does.